Let's go back to Eastern Europe now. The war in Ukraine now in its 120th day, marking 4 months since the invasion began on February 24th. And Ukraine is now set to become an official candidate for the European Union, not NATO, although Ukrainian President Zelensky will virtually address the G7 and NATO summits next week. We'll be on top of that. But President Biden's going to visit Europe. He's on his way to Germany and Spain next week, but he is not going to Ukraine.
Now, and joining us now is GB News anchor and former member of European Parliament, Alex Phillips. Alex, thank you for joining us. So what would it mean, of course, what would it mean for Ukraine to join the European Union?
Well, what we've got to understand, first of all, is this is symbolic. Usually when a nation is given accession rights, it takes a long time, up to 10 years, for that nation to actually become a fully fledged member. And why? Because it takes a lot of reforms. And what is being demanded of Ukraine, reforms to civil society when it comes to things like transparency and corruption, and also social reforms. It has a far more small C conservative society than perhaps Western Europe would like. Is it going to meet those targets anytime soon? No. There are also conditions on things like debt to GDP ratio, which as a war-torn nation is not going to be able to achieve for a long time either. So you've got to think of this more as a PR exercise. Then you have to ask yourself, who does this benefit the most? Of course, it is a great morale booster to Ukraine. It's something that President Zelensky himself campaigned on, was elected on that mandate. But I think it's more critical right now for the EU to be doing this, because when you look at the way that the EU has performed, they as a bloc have to decide unanimously over sanctions. And they've been very slow-footed about getting on with the job of really cutting back supplies to Russia. For example, since the start of the war, they have given $35 billion to Russia for fuel and $1 billion to Ukraine in arms and support and aid. That really puts it into perspective. And a lot of EU countries are divided on how to respond to Russia. The Eastern Bloc think that you have to be aggressive, that any capitulation to Putin would represent an existential threat to them and give succor to Putin to go into their territories too. The Western Bloc, frankly, want this war over. President Macron of France, Olaf Scholz of Germany, it seems from a lot of what they've said, they would almost want to hand parts of Ukraine to Putin on a plate just to get this war done.
Alex, if we look at it, at least here in the United States, and I'm thinking to myself, here we are 4 months into this. Fine, the Donbass region was Russian-speaking, pro-Russian, many parts of that. It's about the size of the state of Connecticut for our viewers here at home. This eastern part of Ukraine, it's like, all right, at some point you got to go in there, negotiate peace, chop that section up, and be done with this war. Because let's not forget, thousands of innocent people are dying every single week, okay? It gets underreported. My question for you is on that note. You're a news anchor in Great Britain. Is the West starting to lose interest in this war?
No, well, Britain is not. And what you've just outlined is completely the opposite of the British view. Our Foreign Secretary, Liz Truss, has been extremely adamant that there must be no giving of anything to Russia at all when it comes to Ukraine. And Boris Johnson has been to meet President Zelensky again the weekend just gone. They've got what we're calling a bromance. You know, they've got a very close relationship. And the UK has really been the vanguard when it comes to standing up for Ukraine against Russian aggression. And why is it important that we don't turn around and say, OK, let's cede some of that territory in the Donbass to Russia? That happened with Crimea. Russia went into Crimea, took it over, held a phony referendum, and as a result, the EU put sanctions on Russia. That was it. That was all that happened. The EU then broke their own sanctions. Germany, for instance, carried on selling parts that could be used for weapons, dual-purpose parts, to Russia, evading those sanctions. None other than Ursula von der Leyen.
Alex, we've only got 30 seconds left. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I just want to get the other side of that. So that's the perspective in Great Britain. And by the way, that's largely the perspective here. We're obviously pro-Ukraine in this war. But the honest side of this is, how long can this go on? If we don't have peace talks, is this Afghanistan, another 10-year war? Russia invades Afghanistan?
It could well be. And the problem is, I think Russia is a country that's very used to strife and struggle and long, grueling winters. And I don't think they're going to want to retreat anytime soon. So what's important is continue to arm Ukraine. And it's going to be very tough for a lot of European nations. First of all, we've got to find the arms, the resources and the money to give to Ukraine. At the same time, we've got to stave off a cost of living crisis, in part borne out by rising energy prices caused by that war. And now you've got the food blockades as well. Russia know what they're doing. They're using very Machiavellian tactics to gain leverage over the whole globe. But what's important is the international community stands together. What we've got now is Beijing buying energy off Russia, funding that war, war. And it's going to go on as long as that continues.
Yeah,
India
we
as
hope,
well.
We
Great
hope
point.
not. Alex Phillips, great to have you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good to see you, Alex.
Course.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, where real news for real people.